You cannot win in life, you cannot win in business unless you win in your mind first. And Attitude Booster number 6 is going to help you with that. We're going to help you win in your mind. We're going to help you control your emotions, but also control your urges and control your addiction.
Yet attitude means, how can I proactively change the way I think? How can I proactively increase my life? How can I proactively create better relationships and better work situations for me to enjoy it?
And welcome to the GAP, the Get Attitude Podcast, The Gap. Bridging the gap from who you are to who you want to become and from where you are to where you want to go. My name is Glenn Bill, founder of the University of Attitude, host of the Get Attitude Podcast, and author of the #1 international best-selling book, The ABCs of Attitude. And boy, we have been so fortunate to help tens of thousands of people get attitude. And this podcast is going to help you get yours. You know, attitude is the key to success in life and in business. And today we're going to help you get some. I want to welcome everybody. Please remember to subscribe, to rate, and review at your favorite podcast platform. We really are thankful for all of you who continue to tune in, who continue to grow with us, who continue to work on their attitude and their attitude muscles. And we are opening up our 6th month of the Get Attitude Podcast with Attitude Booster number 6, which is control your emotions. And let me tell you, controlling your emotions might be, when we always ask which one of the attitude boosters speaks to you, which one do you need to work on the most, which one seems to be the most important, which one would affect your life and the life of the people that you love the most. You know what? Attitude Booster number 6 is one that comes in first, probably. I like have more people say number 6 is kind of the biggest one than any of the other 10. So what we want to do is just introduce to you what is going to be happening this month, what is going to be happening when we talk about controlling your emotions. I always love to ask people, and we've probably done this if you've been listening enough, please describe your attitude in 2 words or less. And it's so funny, some of the answers we get. Like, really shitty is definitely one of a very good answers. Or that's when I say, tell me the attitude of your spouse or your family. We get into a lot of very negative 2-word attitude descriptions. But I would like you to think about, you know, if you had to define your attitude in 2 words or less, how would you really define that? And what is that? And are you happy with that? And I'd also like to maybe ask you, what was your attitude before you started in with the Gap? Before you started in studying this thing called attitude? You know, there are very few attitude courses, very few attitude instructors. People repackage it and say it, but we are really focused on helping people learn how to dedicate themselves to the way they think. So you got to learn how to have a positive attitude. Some of us just have it because we had unbelievable attitude teachers and or parents. Some of us didn't, right? Some of us were brought up with negative families. Some of us were brought up in negative parent situations. Some of us were never encouraged. Some of us were always doubted. Some of us were talked down to. Some of us were never given the opportunity to think for ourselves. Some of us were never given the opportunity to express our opinion or to express our views or to think in a certain way because we had influences in our lives growing up that limited how we took in information and how we took out information. So let's just think about what that 2-word definition is before we get into controlling your emotions. And then I want you to think about, what would you like to transform that 2-word definition into after we're done with our season #1 of The Gap. What is really, really cool, or what I know is what most people answer when I say, what would you like your attitude to become? they say, you know what, Glenn, I would love my attitude to be consistent. That seems to be what people really want. They're tired of the highs. They're tired of the lows. It's exhausting. It's tough to live with. We always focus positive attitude on these two things, right? We want you to become more attractive, and we want you to become more contagious. In a sales situation, in a business relationship, if you're trying to find love, if you're trying to find the significant other, really any interaction in any relationship in life, isn't it true that you really just want to become more attractive to people, right? And that you want to become more contagious, where they're like, man, I got to get some more of that person. Well, that's what we're trying to do here at the Get Attitude podcast. And we're hopefully building those muscles and creating some insights. And I hope that we are asking you questions that make you look inside yourself to say, how can I become more attractive? How can I become more contagious? How can I influence others, especially the others that I love? And most important, how can I influence myself? See, you cannot have a consistent attitude with very inconsistent emotions. And that's what we're going to be focusing this whole month on, is how do we control our emotions? I'm not telling you not to be emotional. I know that, being emotional is important, and emotions drive your action. Emotions can be leveraged to drive your action. Emotions can take you a lot of places, but uncontrolled emotions can cause you as much harm as controlled emotions can, right? I always love to ask our audience to close their eyes, so go ahead and do that. And I want you to think about, the biggest mistake you have ever made in your life, like the biggest mistake you've ever made. And then the question simply that needs to be asked is, was I in control of my emotions when I made that mistake? And my guess is you've made more than one. And my guess is you make at least a mistake a day, if not a week, certainly in a month. And when you look at your life, you look at your business, you look at your relationships, isn't it true that most of the mistakes that you're making are because a lack of the ability to control your emotions? And controlling your emotions, you know what? They're tough. And we will be bringing you guests that will help you control your emotions. We have an absolute phenomenal lineup. And the content that you're going to hear about controlling your emotions is amazing. First, we're going to start out with the love designer, keynote speaker, best-selling author, Renee Piane. And she wrote the Secrets to Opening Your Heart, How to Find True Love. She is also known as the Love Designer. And she also wrote a book called Get Real About Love. So if you're somebody that's having trouble finding love, she ran one of the largest dating services in America. She is full of energy. She is full of great ideas about how to become more attractive. And we really focused with her on the personal relationship side. We really focused with her on finding love. We focused with her on bridging the gap from relationships that have been torn. This is a great interview for folks that have maybe been through divorce, thinking about divorce, or who have gone through divorce, because we know that divorce can rip apart a person emotionally. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And so Renee's content, Renee's podcast is just, it's so fun. And she's such a great influence and positive person. I know she is going to be giving you real answers about love and how to find love if you're looking for love. Next, we brought in a gal, Beth McKinley, who is with Get Up and Go. And Beth is a life and health coach who specializes in helping people 50 years and older move on with their life after maybe a personal reversal, a financial reversal. And she helps coach people that are coming to her with an attitude of hopelessness, with an attitude that, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to grow. What do I do now? I'm 50. I feel like I've wasted the last 25 years of my life. Or I've been committed to something for 25 years. I've been committed to a business. I've been committed to a person, and now that it's gone. And she talks about her story, how 3 years ago she was at the bottom of a closet, crying, clenching, 30 pounds overweight, and saying that, you know what, there's got to be a better life for me. There's got to be a way to work this out. And Beth took the attitude that I hope everybody does, is that nobody's going to help you. I mean, there are people that will help you. I hope my podcast help you, but you got to decide to take the help and you got to take the action. And Beth gives us really, really good pointers and answers and antidotes on how to take yourself to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be, and from who you are to who you want to become. So if you're one of those people that is struggling, thinking, what am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with my relationships? What am I going to do with my business? What am I going to do in my professional life? Beth's podcast is one that you will not want to miss. And then the next guest we have is somebody very dear and fun to me. And that's my own brother, Brian Bill. I actually brought in one of my family members. I'm one of 5 kids. My brother was number 4. I was the baby. And Brian is a mental health and addictions counselor. And when we talk about being able to control your emotions, we really know that it is about mental health and addiction, right? It's about the things that we crave most, that we can't fight, that we can't beat. And when we talk about controlling your emotions, for those of you who may be a drug addict out there, who might be an alcoholic, who are addicted to sex possibly, you know what? There are tricks that you can employ that will help you control your addiction, which in essence, and you're going to find out what those answers are with Brian, how to control your emotions, right? At the height of your obsession, at the height of self-indulgence, when we talk about making the biggest mistake of your life, usually you're not in control of your emotions. Brian has real life stories and anecdotes on situations and people that have ruined their life, and he's helped them regain their life, and all of it is deeply rooted in his emotions. So those are just 3 of the Control Your Emotions guests. We'll have a secret guest. I'm not going to give it to you now, but we got another real powerful podcast coming on. And at the end of this month, if you're somebody that struggles with self-indulgence, if you're somebody that struggles with always flying off the handle, right? Always being pissed off, not being attractive and contagious to the people that you are with, but dictating tone and demanding of things, not being able to influence people, but to demand how people act. Trust me, month number 5 is going to be for you. Month number 6, Attitude Booster number 6 is going to be for you. So with that, I just wanted to, finish up and just ask you a few questions. You know, are you a person who is out of control? Are you a person that's out of control in any area of your life, whether it be financially, right? I mean, let's talk about it. For God's sakes, how many of you have a credit card debt of over $20,000 because you can't control the urge to buy every single thing that you want? Are you in control of your weight and physical health because you know what? You just can't stop eating a whole cake. You got to have one piece of cake. Are you somebody that is out of control with drug and alcohol addiction, where 1 beer is too many and 1,000's not enough? Like, this is what controlling your emotions is all about. My guess is the biggest problem that you're facing is most likely one that can be handled when you win inside your mind. We say it on all of our Facebook workouts, right? You cannot win in life. You cannot win in business unless you win in your mind first. And Attitude Booster number 6 is going to help you with that. We're going to help you win in your mind. We're going to help you control your emotions, but also control your urges and control your addiction. We're going to help you from flying off the handle, right? We know that when people fly off the handle, it's just not an outward practice, but it's an inward discontent with themselves. It's a showing of their inward anxiety that maybe they're not who they believe themselves to be. It's how they wrestle with it. And so what did we do? We brought in the professionals. Lord knows I'm not a professional at this. And I brought in three highly skilled, well, actually 4 highly skilled life coaches, love coaches, mental health counselors that are going to help open up the possibilities that are within you. We know that you have greatness within you. We know that you're trying to bridge the gap from who you are to who you want to become. We know that you're trying to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be. And the best bridge that you can do, the best bridge that you can walk over is this bridge called control, discipline, controlling your emotions. We will have answers for you. These are 4 podcasts you will not miss. I look forward to being with you all through May and talking about controlling your emotions with our unbelievable guests. This is Glenn Bill signing off from the Get Attitude Podcast Studios, Studio J in Greenwood, Indiana, with my main man, Jason Jolliffe. We look forward to seeing you all month. You do not want to miss these podcasts, and have a great, great attitude and a great month with us.